Hands behind your back!
You're making a mistake. I'm FBI. Call your supervisor before
Stop
this gets worse.
resisting!
I'm not resisting. You're assaulting a federal agent. Stop! I'm FBI.
Carter, stand down!
Officer Adam Carter had only been 4 months on the Miami Police Department when he made a choice that would not just end his career, but stain his name forever. It happened on a quiet morning in a calm residential neighborhood, the kind of place where nothing dramatic happens. Streets lined with palm trees, houses with neat lawns, people walking dogs, sprinklers tick-ticking quietly. Morning light was soft, the air cool. You could almost forget it was a city. It was 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Carter saw a black man walking casually down the sidewalk. He wore gray shorts, a dark blue hoodie, and blue running shoes, holding coffee and a wallet. Nothing suspicious. No crime in sight. But Carter convinced himself that the man was checking cars. He decided to act before anything even happened. The man was Special Agent Lewis, a federal FBI agent. What happened next would cost the department over $2 million and ruin Carter's future. Before we go on, where are you watching from? If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. Stories like this need to be shared. Your support helps bring more truth to light. Special Agent Lewis had been with the FBI for 11 years. 11 years of cybercrime cases, organized fraud investigations, and multi-agency task forces. He had testified in federal court, coordinated with Interpol, won awards for his work. Supervisors trusted him. Colleagues respected him. But that morning, he wasn't on duty. Not a case. Not a warrant. Just a man taking a morning walk. Lewis lived 3 blocks from where this would happen. His usual routine: light jog, then cool-down walk with coffee from the corner cafe. Gray shorts, a dark blue hoodie, and blue running shoes. Wallet in one hand, coffee in the other. He wasn't looking into cars. Not casing homes. Just walking. But sometimes, for some people, that's enough to make a problem. Adam Carter was 24 years old. Graduated from the police academy 4 months earlier. Full of energy, idealism, and confidence that he would make a difference. He wanted to act fast and catch criminals before they acted. His training officer had cleared him for solo patrol 2 weeks earlier. No major incidents in his record, just a rookie trying to prove himself. That morning, Carter was on a residential patrol in Coral Gables, a quiet neighborhood. He drove slowly through the streets, windows down, radio low, scanning. Then he saw him. A black man walking, holding something in his hands, moving slowly. To most people, it looked like a neighbor on a morning walk. But Carter saw something else. This is where bias becomes action. Carter didn't see a federal agent. He didn't see a professional with a spotless record. He didn't see someone from the neighborhood. He saw a black man in a hoodie. And, in his mind, shaped by media stories and unexamined bias, that image meant crime. Carter slowed his car and watched. Lewis walked past parked cars. He glanced at one casually, like anyone might. Carter's mind filled in the rest. He's checking door handles. Scouting. Planning something. None of it was real. But Carter believed it. He pulled over, parked, and stepped out. Proactive policing, he told himself. Stopping crime before it happened. But there was no crime. No victim. No evidence, only an assumption. Do you think rookie officers should have psychological bias training before solo patrol? Drop your answer below. Adam Carter closed the patrol car door and walked toward Lewis, hand on his duty belt. "Excuse me," he said firmly. "Can I talk to you for a second?" Lewis stopped and turned, saw the uniform, patrol car, and rookie confidence. He'd been through this before, enough to know how it might go. "Good morning, officer," Lewis said calmly. "What can I do for you? What are you doing out here?" Lewis blinked. Walking. I live 3 blocks that way. He gestured with his coffee. You live here? Carter's tone was doubtful, as if it was hard to believe. Yes, I do. What's your name? Lewis. Special Agent Lewis. I'm with the FBI. Carter's expression didn't change. If anything, it hardened. FBI. Huh. Yes. You got ID to prove that. Lewis nodded slowly. I do. But can I ask why you're stopping me? I haven't done anything wrong. And there it was, the question that should matter. But Carter didn't pause. I'll ask the questions, he said, sharper now. I saw you looking into cars. Got a reason for that? Lewis frowned. Looking into cars? I was just walking. I glanced at a vehicle. That's not a crime. Depends on your intent. My intent, Lewis stayed calm, with an edge now, was to walk to my house. That's it. Carter's jaw tightened. Show me your ID. This is where psychology matters. Carter had already decided what he saw. In his mind, Lewis was an FBI. He was the suspect trying to talk his way out. Lewis stayed calm. It read as defiance. Carter's adrenaline spiked. Pride kicked in. Training, already thin, started to unravel. Lewis reached into his hoodie pocket. I'm getting my credentials. They're here. Keep your hands where I can see them. They're visible. I'm telling you what I'm doing before I do it. That's protocol. Lewis pulled out his FBI credentials, a black leather case with a badge and ID card. He held it out. Carter glanced at it. Barely. Could be fake, he said. Lewis stared, disbelief showing. Officer, that's real. You can call dispatch. Call the FBI. My badge number is there. Anyone can buy a badge online. This isn't online. I'm a special agent. 11 years with the Bureau. Carter moved closer to his baton. I think you need to come with me to sort this out. Lewis stayed controlled, frustration building. Sir, sort what? I'd shown credentials. Nothing to sort out. You stopped me without cause. I stopped you because you were acting suspicious. I was walking. You were looking into cars. I glanced once. That's not suspicious. You know it. Carter stepped closer. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Lewis's eyes widened. You're arresting me? I'm detaining you until I verify. My story? This isn't a story. I'm FBI. You're making a serious mistake. Turn around. No. That one word, refusal to obey an unlawful order, was all Carter needed to escalate. Pre-crime assumption is the most dangerous policing form. The tension snapped like a wire pulled too tight. Carter saw defiance. Lewis saw a rookie making a career-ending mistake and tried to stop it. Officer, Lewis said, firm but calm, I am not resisting. I am not fleeing. I am not a threat. I will not submit to an unlawful detention. You have no probable cause. No reasonable suspicion. Nothing but assumption. Carter's face flushed. I have a suspicious individual refusing to comply. I'm not refusing to comply. I'm refusing to be violated. Call your supervisor before this gets worse. But Carter wasn't listening. In his mind, it had escalated. Lewis' calm, legal words and refusal to submit, it all read as a challenge. Carter reached for Lewis' arm. Lewis pulled back instinctively, firmly but not violently. Don't touch me. Carter grabbed harder. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. You have no right. Carter yanked Lewis' arm, trying to spin him. Lewis kept balance, training kicking in. Don't escalate. Don't fight. Don't submit to illegal force. Let go. Lewis shouted louder. You're assaulting a federal agent. Carter didn't let go. Pulled his baton. Everything changed. The first strike was fast, toward Lewis' shoulder, meant to create compliance. Lewis twisted, blocking with his forearm. The coffee cup dropped, splattering on the pavement. "Stop!" Lewis shouted. "I'm FBI." Carter swung again. Lancing blow to ribs. Sharp pain. Lewis stumbled, hands up, credentials still in one hand. "You're making a mistake. Stop." Carter was in it now. Adrenaline, fear, and pride were pushing him. Lunged at Lewis, trying to force him down. Lewis resisted, staying standing and staying conscious. They struggled, locked in a fight that should never have happened. Lewis didn't strike back. Used body weight, balance, and defensive knowledge to avoid being pinned. For a moment, stalemate. Carter trying to dominate, Lewis trying to survive. A voice cut through chaos. "Carter, stand down." A second patrol car arrived. Officer Megan Ortiz, a 7-year veteran, stepped out. "What the hell are you doing?" she shouted. Carter froze, baton raised, breathing hard. Lewis straightened, chest heaving, ribs aching, credentials clutched. "He attacked me," Lewis said, voice shaking with disbelief. "I'm a federal agent, and he attacked me." Engagement question. Why do some officers see calmness as defiance? Comment your thoughts. Ortiz raised a hand in a calming gesture. "Both stop moving," she said firmly. Then to Carter, "What's going on?" Carter stammered. He was looking into cars. I stopped him. He refused. Then, I identified myself. Lewis cut in sharply. Showed credentials. He called them fake. Then attacked me. Ortiz's eyes narrowed. FBI credentials. Lewis held up a black leather case, the gold badge shining. Ortiz stepped closer and examined it. Expression changed immediately. "Carter," she said quietly, tone cold, "this is real." "It can't be." "It is. Active federal badge. Special Agent Lewis, FBI." Carter's face went pale. Mouth opened. No words. Ortiz to Lewis, "Sir, are you hurt?" Lewis touched ribs carefully. "I'll survive. But I want a full report. Body camera footage. And to know what happens next." "You'll have it," Ortiz promised. Then to Carter, a harsh whisper. "Get back in your car. Don't move. Don't speak. Wait for a supervisor." Carter nodded, hands trembling. A small crowd gathered. Neighbors on porches. Joggers stopped. Someone recording. Evidence everywhere. Truth undeniable. Carter's career was over before it began. Within minutes, a supervisor arrived. Sergeant Victor Hall, a 14-year veteran with no patience for reckless policing, spoke first with Ortiz, then Lewis, and finally Carter. "You attacked a federal agent," Hall said calmly, but anger was clear underneath. "I didn't know," Carter mumbled. "You didn't verify. You didn't call it in. You didn't listen when he identified himself. You just assumed." Carter looked at the ground. Hall shook his head. "You're done for the day. Go back to the station. Don't talk to anyone. Don't post anything. Internal Affairs will contact you." Carter nodded and walked back to his patrol car like a man in a daze. Special Agent Lewis stood with Officer Ortiz and Sergeant Hall, still processing what had happened. "I need to make a formal complaint," he said. "This wasn't just a bad stop. This was an assault on a federal agent in my own neighborhood." "You'll have every resource you need," Hall said. "The FBI will be notified. Internal Affairs will investigate. And I can tell you right now, this officer will not be on the street again." Lewis nodded, though anger simmered beneath his calm. "I've been doing this 11 years, he said quietly. "Worked with local PD in 6 states. Never had an officer refuse to verify my credentials and then attack me. This isn't just incompetence. This is bias. This happens when you train people to see threats where there aren't any. Hall didn't disagree. He couldn't. This single encounter, on a quiet morning in Coral Gables, would define Adam Carter's life. It cost the city millions. Forced the department to face the consequences of rushing undertrained, biased officers onto the street. By noon, the story reached the FBI Miami field office. By 3:00 p.m., federal investigators had it. By evening, it was national news. FBI agent attacked by Miami rookie cop during morning walk. Federal officer assaulted after showing credentials to police. Miami PD under fire after agent beaten in own neighborhood. Headlines wrote themselves. Outrage was immediate. The FBI filed a formal complaint with Miami PD within 24 hours, not a request, but a demand for accountability. The Department of Justice opened a civil rights investigation. Internal Affairs reviewed Carter's training, academy records, and field evaluations. What they found was troubling. Carter passed his academy exams, but his psychological evaluation noted tendencies toward over-assertion in uncertain situations. His field training officer had flagged him twice for premature escalation, but signed him off anyway, citing staffing needs. He had been cleared for solo patrol after only 12 weeks of supervision. The standard was 16. The department rushed him, and now they were paying the price. Civil rights attorneys contacted Lewis within days. This wasn't just about an unlawful stop. This was assault, battery, and violation of civil rights. And it had happened to a federal agent with the credibility and resources to take it all the way. The lawsuit named Adam Carter, his training officer, his supervisor, and Miami PD. Allegations: unlawful stop without reasonable suspicion, failure to verify credentials, assault with a weapon, baton, violation of federal civil rights, deliberate indifference by the department in training and supervision. City attorneys reviewed the case and concluded, indefensible. Body camera footage showed everything. Lewis identifying himself. Showing credentials, Carter refusing. Carter attacking. No gray area. The city settled before trial. Over $2 million paid to Lewis, funded by taxpayers. Adam Carter was terminated 6 weeks later. The termination letter was brief and final. Officer Carter engaged in conduct that violated department policy, state law, and federal civil rights statutes. He failed to exercise sound judgment, ignored established protocol, and used force without justification. Employment terminated immediately. Consequences went further. Carter's name entered the National Decertification Index, a database tracking officers fired or stripped of certification. No other department could hire him. Not in Florida, not anywhere. Law enforcement career permanently over. He tried to appeal. The union initially supported him, but once FBI evidence became public, they withdrew support. Carter issued a short statement through an attorney. I made a serious error in judgment. I failed to properly verify Special Agent Lewis' credentials, and I reacted in a way inconsistent with my training. I take full responsibility and apologize to Agent Lewis and the community. It didn't matter. Damage was done. Special Agent Lewis testified at Internal Affairs. Measured but powerful. I didn't ask to be the face of this issue, he said. I didn't want attention. But if my experience prevents this from happening to someone else, someone without a badge, without federal backing, then it's worth it. He paused. Officer Carter saw me and made an assumption. Not based on evidence or behavior, but bias. When I didn't submit, he attacked me. That's not policing. That's violence with a badge. The room was silent. I've worked with good cops. Great cops. People risking their lives to protect others. But I've also seen what happens when departments rush training, ignore red flags, and put officers on the street before they are ready. This is the result. 6 months later, Miami PD announced reforms. Extended field training from 12 to 20 weeks. mandatory bias training before solo patrol, real-time body camera uploads, and a new review process for use of force incidents involving federal or other law enforcement officers. Reforms were significant, but too late for Carter, and only after a federal agent was attacked and the city paid millions. Our rookie officers rushed onto the street too fast. Let me know in the comments. This wasn't an accident. Adam Carter didn't stumble into a bad choice. He made deliberate decisions. Stop a man without cause, ignore credentials, escalate instead of verify, and use force instead of reason. Choices rooted in something deeper: bias, assumption, projecting criminality onto someone just existing. These stories happen because we allow them. Rush training because departments are understaffed. Solo patrol before readiness because it saves money. Bias unchecked because colorblindness is treated as fairness. Until someone with the power to fight back, like Special Agent Lewis, forces accountability. But what about everyone else? Those without FBI badges, without lawyers, whose encounters end with injury, trauma, or death. These stories don't make headlines but happen every day. Carter's career is over. The city paid $2 million. But accountability for one officer and one settlement isn't enough. The real question: what changes now? Departments must admit 4 months of training isn't enough. Bias isn't something to ignore. Rushing officers puts everyone at risk, including themselves. If the system that allowed Adam Carter to attack a federal agent isn't changed, we're just waiting for the next rookie, the next victim, and the next $2 million settlement. Should rookie officers need 2 years of supervised field training before solo patrol? Comment below.